Hello, I'm Dr. Antonella Grima. I'm a registered nutritionist and a public health specialist, and today I will be answering some questions that were sent to me by Jody Farrugia related to nutrition in young athletes. So the first question is, define nutrition in a few words. We are what we eat, what our food, what is in our food will become part of our body. So it's nutrition is the study of how what we eat becomes a part of us and how it makes us tick. Why is nutrition an essential part of an athlete's life? Nutrition is very important in determining the performance of an athlete. If an athlete does not have the correct nutrition, they will not be able to perform at their maximal capacity. Now, do nutritional needs of athletes differ from non-athletes? Generally, apart from having proper intake of nutrients, athletes also need quite a few calories because they are active and they're on the go for very long periods of time, very frequently during the week, so they need more calories, and it's important that the calories come from nutritional foods rather than from empty calories and high sugar and high fat foods. Now, what are the main primary factors that cause an athlete's diet to differ from another athlete's? It depends on the sport that is carried out. If there is, for example, an endurance sport where you need stamina and energy, maybe you need more carbohydrates. If you need to build muscle and you need short, rapid bursts of energy, you would need more protein in your diet, and so on. The type of sport will dictate, especially on a professional level, the kind of diet that an athlete must follow. Now, what are the main food groups and why are they important? The main food groups when we talk about nutrition are the macronutrients, which are carbohydrates, which usually give us energy, protein, which help in building the muscle and building our cells, and fat, which are a reserve of energy, and they can also be used to, like protein and carbohydrates, to produce energy as well. Are there any specific foods that should be avoided? Yes, it's important to base the diet of an athlete on high nutrition foods rather than on empty calories. So the food has to be energy dense and it has to have the appropriate amount of calories. Before starting a new diet or eating plan, should one undergo a fitness or medical test? It depends on the level of physical activity that is involved. If someone is going to embark on a sport as a hobby and the amount of strain on the body is a normal amount of strain and you are in good health, you do not need to do a checkup. If on the other hand you are going to go into a competitive level of sport where you are pushing your body to the extreme, it's good to have a check to see that everything is okay. Now, another question. Why is it important for an athlete to know when to eat and not only what to eat? The timing of food will determine how well someone can train and their performance during physical activity. If you eat very close to your physical activity, it might cause you an upset stomach, and if you are starving for a long time, you might not have the amount of energy required to give that burst of physical activity in that important moment. Now, what would a runner eat in a day compared to a thrower, and when would he or she eat on the day of competition? As I mentioned before, a runner would usually concentrate more on high carbohydrate foods to give more energy, and especially if it's a long distance runner, and a thrower would need to build muscle, so they would have to concentrate more on protein. What they would eat on the day depends on their physique, and usually together with their trainer and a specialized sport nutrition, they would design a specific diet that they can follow during training days and on the day of their physical activity. Now, When athletes go on strict diets, does it pose more benefits or drawbacks? If you are restricting carbohydrates and proteins and fats and you are on a restrictive diet, it might impede the level of activity that you can carry out. Usually, athletes do not need to go on a strict diet, as in restricting the food that they are eating, because the level of physical activity would cause them to consume more calories and they usually have a healthy weight. If you are restricting calories and restricting food intake, generally you will not be able to perform your physical activity at the level that you desire. So restrictive diets are not indicated when you are practicing a sport. How can bad nutrition affect an athlete? If, for example, you've eaten a burger and you have to run the day after, you will realize that your body is sluggish, you might get short of breath, you might get cramps while you're carrying out the activity. So yes, part of the training for being an athlete does involve discipline in what you eat and how you eat it.